Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining this session. It's probably a little bit different aspect of IoT. It's a consumer side of IoT, and in special, it's the smart home side of it. And my name is Steuernagel. I work for Deutsche Telekom in the consumer IoT space, which is basically the product which we develop is the Magenta Smart Home, which is offered by Deutsche Telekom in Germany. So, smart home. We are waiting for the breakthrough in this market for many, many years. So, smart home, we are talking about since, I don't know how long. It's still a question what smart home at the end is. So, let's look at that question before. What is a smart home? And that really depends on from where you're looking at. So who is looking at it and what experience people already have. So I just put in some terms here, what people think smart home is. For some, it's just Alexa. Alexa is a smart home. Do you have smart home? Yes, I have Alexa. Maybe for others, it's their entertainment system, which is smart, or maybe they have installed some security, which is a smart home solution. For others, it might be light. It's a set of automations and rules. It's maybe the so prominent refrigerator, which is ordering the milk from the grocery store once it's out. It's a set of sensors, cameras, and it's maybe managing your energy. It's all over the place. It could be all of that, but not for every customer. It's all the same. Which brings us a little bit to our learning number one, which I would like to present to you, which is that 50% of our users are using less than 5 devices in their smart home. So how does that divide? Only a single device even have 14% of customers. That could be maybe a trial case. So they just got that in a promotion with their smart home system. They got maybe a door window contact with that. They're trying it out. They like it. Well, maybe don't really care about it, but they still have it. And maybe others are using really a single use case. So they just watched their cat while they're at work in the office, and they watch a cat being at home, not making some nonsense. Maybe you cannot interfere with that, but at least you see what happens. Maybe it's just fun, right? Another 36% of our customers, and that brings up to the total of 50, is using 2 to 4 devices. Then we can say, yes, those customers are using only most likely a single use case. Maybe they have some light in the backyard and they have a motion sensor and they trigger that light with the motion sensor. That was my first use case actually, which was really, really useful after trialing because I'm working on that topic for many, many years. Or maybe they have a water leakage detector in their basement because they had some problem there that water is coming in if it's heavy raining. Yes, that was my second use case, and so I ended up with maybe 4 useful devices in the very beginning, yeah, that is maybe enough for them. Only 10% of our customers are using more than 20 devices, and 20 devices is not really a fully automated home yet. So my home has maybe 60, 70 devices, or maybe even more. I stopped counting. And even that is not enough. I could do much more if I would have the time. So it's time consuming. And we consider these users with 20 or more devices already the heavy users. There are customers with more than 100, 150 devices. Those are the very heavy users. So there's still 40% which are in between, having 5 to 20 devices. It's still a large portion, but if I look at the 50% which are in the lower end, that also tells us something about it. So, but what is the reason for that? Why are the number of devices so low? From our investigation, asking customers, doing market research, we think it's that customers are buying single devices rather that they would buy a whole system to start with. They don't buy 20 door window contacts and 10 heating control sensors and stuff at once. They just start with a single device and with a single use case. They also think, we ask ourselves, maybe smart home technology is too expensive. We will have a brief answer on that a little bit later on this in this slide deck. And we also think that customers are currently overwhelmed a little bit by the number of systems, protocols, suppliers. So what you can use. But first, before we dig into that, let's go to learning number 2. We see that the use cases and device types are getting broader and more complex over time. So when we started in 2013, we saw the smart home being kind of a home automation use case, which is running the roller shutters and maybe heating and light is turned on and off. And the camera was the more advanced use case already, that you have a camera, you can monitor through that. You have motion sensors, door window contacts, whatever in your home. And that was when we started in 2013. When I look at the system today, what we offer today is far more complex devices. So, and I'm not listing everything, but we have from dishwashers, we have the refrigerator. It's not ordering milk yet, but there are devices like this. There's entertainment stuff, the music Sonos boxes. The lights are, also are tunable in their color. We have voice control. We have cameras which do face recognition. We have garden watering. So we have a lot of different devices which are getting far more complex today. And the whole environment is changing. But let's look at that maybe from a different angle also. So on the left-hand side is what we started with, what a traditional home automation system is like. So we are managing a set of sensors and actuators with one or more radio protocols, mainly locally with automation rules. And we are now developing more or less an orchestration of local devices, third-party clouds, or devices connected to third-party clouds, third-party cloud services like a weather service, to provide overall a better user experience than the single services and devices can do on their own. So this is kind of where it's changing. So we don't try to be the better Philips Hue app, but we can combine the Philips Hue maybe with the washing machine. So you can, when the washing machine finished, then a lamp goes on, or the speaker tells you your laundry is ready, right? So this is what we're aiming at today. So it's slightly different, far more complex, and it's a change in the whole perception also of the customer. So the landscape of the smart home is changing. So suppliers have difficulty of selling non-smart devices in some of the categories. So the customers just expect that a speaker will be smart. I can control it by an app. Also, the washing machine needs to be smart. A camera, anyways, I can't sell a camera without an app, because how do I want to look at the camera stream? Through an app, right? So all these devices need apps, and more devices with apps are coming out. Pure smart home sensors are not very attractive. So to tell my friend, oh, this is a nice door window contact I put to my window, no. Yeah, I said, okay, this is a nice speaker system, and it even can simulate presence when I'm not at home by making noises of a toilet flushing and vacuum cleaner running and whatever. That is cool stuff to show, right? And customers are not so much interested in making the entire home smart, but only kind of their specific use cases. So what they are really looking at. Let's pick 3 theses. So we said in the beginning that customers are overwhelmed by the number of systems, protocols, and suppliers. Second, we said smart home technology is too expensive. And third, we said customers are not so interested in making their entire home smart, but their use cases. So let's try to find an answer on that. Is it really that customers are overwhelmed by the number of systems and protocols and suppliers? I would say yes. So just picking up numbers of devices, platforms in the field. So the Apple user knows Apple HomeKit. Maybe you know Amazon Alexa. You can't cross an IKEA market without crossing the thread-free bulbs. You see Google Home. If you are in the open source environment, you come across OpenHub. Then there's Samsung SmartThings. For sure, there's Magenta Smart Home. Philips Hue, and even some less known like Zapato, ecobee, Wink, Eve, whatever. They're far more, and it's complex. So which one should I use, right? So maybe I even have already 2 because I'm running Apple anyways, and I came across the IKEA offering and I couldn't resist, right? So I already have 2, which are probably working together or maybe not. On the other hand, I have then also protocols. Should I go for narrowband IoT or for Zigbee for devices? Yeah, what is the advantage one of the other? Is DECT-ULE now better than Z-Wave? What is Thread about? Should I buy a bulb with Bluetooth Smart or with Zigbee? Can Wi-Fi do the same? I'm totally overwhelmed by that. So I don't understand technology as an average end customer, and I don't want to care about that at all. So yes, I think customers are a little bit overwhelmed by that. Question 2 was, is smart home technology expensive? Not necessarily the technology, but for example, if you look at a standard device, let's take a non-smart smoke detector. You can buy these devices for 15 to 20 euros in retail, and they're produced in high volumes, many million units, right? Now, to make it smart, we just add a little bit of bill of material. We have to do some software development, but with the volume share, you add a cost of €5 per piece, no more than that, probably even less than that. And then you sell it, and you could sell it theoretically below €35, given the lower volumes, the additional costs. But reality is that you have to provide more support, and maybe that is the reason why most devices are more expensive than the 35 euros. You could offer it too, but there is some margin kept for supporting end customers and using it, maybe. Or it's even that you are able as a supplier to get a little bit more money out of that. Does it matter if you buy one smoke detector, if it's 15 or 20 euro or 50? If you just buy one, you might say, let's try it out. Let's have one smart smoke detector, and I will use that and see. It's not really. It's within a budget where you say, oh yeah, I can do that. It's not really making a big difference. But if you equip your house with 6 devices of that, then you have the decision of, is it worth the 300 euros, or can I go with 100? And then you think about that twice. Yes, smart home technology is maybe not expensive, but the devices are. So it's a little bit of both. Just to make it smart, it's not adding so much cost. But the devices are still more expensive due to lower volume, maybe support cost, maybe more margin the suppliers wanted to make out of that. Okay. Question number 3 was, are customers not interested in making their entire home smart? Yes. Basically picking 3 examples of typical answers, typical use cases. So maybe that guy wants to have a peace of mind security in place to track their kids if they come home, to get a notification that they just entered the home. And that lady on the right, she just wants to be informed when someone unknown is at the front door with face recognition. She can make a distinction between some known delivery guys from a parcel delivery service or pizza delivery or whatever, and total people, unknown people. And the lady here, she just wants to have her garden watered automatically, so she doesn't want to care about that. That is typical. So you have a problem you want to solve, you find a solution for that, and then it might take a while to grow to the next use case, to add another use case. And yes, as it also happened with me, that I came from 4 to 5 useful devices I used up to 60 or whatever these devices are in the meantime. But that grows, but it needs time. It needs experience you need to have with that before you increase the use cases. So now we'll talk about the breakthrough. So what is needed? How can you address that? First of all, we need to cover the customer's main use cases, really their pain points, to get them started. We need to allow them an easy entry, so they don't have to decide for a system and spend a fortune into that, but they just can buy one use case. Yeah, if they can start with that and happy with that without buying a full set of other devices they don't need, maybe a kit of 20 devices with a gateway, and then they can use it, then it's I think we are on the better side. And we need to offer use cases and service the customer trust us to be able to deliver. Because if we attempt to do an entertainment system app, which is maybe not our core competence, then we might fail with that approach. So for a telco, that would mean the operators' core competence is to connect things and people together. And that is what customers are trusting us for. So let's stick on that aspect. We need to fight against the others which are entering the home over the top, like Google and Apple and Amazon are coming and trying to own the home of the customer where we are already in. Let's fight back and don't let them cover that. So we see that example already in the TV services, in the voice services. So you can make a WhatsApp call without involving the mobile operator's network beside the data usage. So there's really alternatives coming, and also in the fixed line business that will be the case, right? And we as operators should not reduce ourselves to big pipes provider just to deliver the data pipe for everybody else to deliver the services. Then we become exchangeable like energy tariffs are today. So I don't care where my energy is coming from. I just need power in my home. And if it's just I need bandwidth in my home, I don't really care where it's coming from. I think we can do better and differentiate in that market. With that, thank you. And I'm open for questions.
Kai, thank you for that. Very interesting. I think one of the things that makes me nervous about smart home is I might end up feeling more spied on than secure. We have had instances of Apple owning up to employees scrutinizing video or listening in to do what I'm not exactly sure, but I don't really like the idea. Not that my life is that exciting, but it is. My private life's private. And also I think there's been some issues with Ring and video being scrutinized by the company, which maybe you don't want. That didn't really come up in your presentation. Is that because in your research this isn't a common concern?
That concern is mentioned a lot. At the end, the people are acting differently. Yeah, people say I'm cautious about my privacy, and then they're installing apps which is or using systems beside that. So people, when we, because we also started our own speaker, and we thought, okay, the main argument for the speaker is data privacy compared to Amazon Alexa. But people really don't care. Once they decided for a speaker for comfort, they are taking it in. So no, it should be something in this presentation, but at the end, the argument isn't the best one. Just with data privacy, and we looked at that topic very intensively because from Germany, a German company, we have maybe far stricter data privacy laws than others. Then it should be our benefit, but it turned out that people are at the end not acting as they talk.
Now that's really interesting, very interesting. Kai, I'm sad to say we've run out of time.
Yes.
So excuse me, that was really interesting and very helpful. Many thanks. It was a pleasure to have you here with us. And but we have to now we have to move on.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What a pleasure.